Today we're going to play Universe Mode Series, but it's the year 2000. It's week 1 of July, and it's Monday Night Raw. The tag team champs, Edge and Christian, attack the Hardy Boys on their way to the ring. The Hardy Boys are scheduled to challenge the champions at the pay-per-view, Fully Loaded. The Undertaker was making his way to the ring to go one-on-one against his brother Kane. The match was going as you can imagine with these two monsters of men. Guys, this was a pay-per-view quality match that was being given for free on Monday Night Raw. The American Badass, The Undertaker, was getting the upper hand on Kane when all of a sudden, the Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, rushed to the ring and launched a beatdown on the dead man with a kendo stick, hitting The Undertaker over and over again. It was decided that Eddie Guerrero was going to defend his European Championship at Fully Loaded. To gain the advantage in the road to their upcoming match, he decided to launch a sneak attack on the #1 contender. The main event for this week's Raw was Jericho versus Triple H, but the match never started because these two decided to get into a brawl outside the ring. Jericho bit the bait and got provoked by Hunter. Triple H had the upper hand on Jericho, and it seemed like he was almost trying to end Jericho's career. Now it was time for Thursday Night SmackDown, and the first match of the night was actually pretty insane. Kurt Angle against Chris Jericho, with the winner potentially earning a title shot in the future, either for the Intercontinental Championship or the WWE Championship. Jericho was still hurt from the savage attack performed by Triple H last Monday night on Raw, and Kurt was watching his back after what he did to The Undertaker. The match was going in favor of Jericho, who was looking to end the match with his signature move, the Walls of Jericho. However, Angle managed to escape the submission, and now he was getting the upper hand. Angle was also looking to finish the match after an Olympic slam. But wait a minute, the American Badass is here! The Undertaker is coming to the ring, but Kurt doesn't know. Kurt is trying to submit Jericho and win the match. He breaks the ankle lock and is looking for the last ride. He hits Kurt with his signature move. The dead man has gotten his revenge, and just like that, Jericho won. But wait, Triple H is here on SmackDown too. Triple H is giving Y2J a beatdown. What is all of this about? Now they have lowered the steel cage again. Jericho is at the mercy of Triple H as he continues laying the smackdown on Jericho. Once again, Triple H gets the upper hand on Y2J. The APA was coming down to the ring for our second match, but the Dudley Boys attacked them from behind. An upcoming #1 contender match between the two teams was brewing in the back, and the Dudley Boys were looking to soften the competition. For our third match, it was the Big Show against the Big Red Machine, Kane. After Big Show was unsuccessful in putting Kane down, he went under the ring, grabbed a ladder, and proceeded to hit Kane with it. Guys, let me know in the comments who you think was better between Kane and Big Show. Oh, the Big Show wasn't done yet. The Big Show grabbed Kane and body slammed him through the ladder. I know the Big Show is a giant, but you definitely don't want to mess with Kane. After The Rock won the main event of this week's SmackDown, the #1 contender for the WWE Championship, Stone Cold Steve Austin, went out and attacked The Rock. Then Austin grabbed the belt and hit The Rock with the title. The Rattlesnake has let The Rock and the world know loud and clear that he is taking back the title at Fully Loaded. And that was week 1. In week 2, the Hardy Boys gave Edge and Christian a real beating as payback for what happened in week 1. They showed they weren't taking things lightly and left the champions hurting. Next week, we were going to see the Hardys against Edge and Christian in a ladder match at Fully Loaded. For the second match, we saw Scotty 2 Hotty from Too Cool against the #1 contender for the European Championship. The match ended quickly after a couple of German suplexes and a diving headbutt from the top rope. After the match, the champion Eddie Guerrero again attacked the #1 contender with the European Championship, repeating what he did the previous week. After The Undertaker interfered in last week's match between Kurt and Jericho, Angle has not let it go. He has been targeting The Undertaker's leg, even though Kurt was the one who started all of this. Now, Angle feels that Taker took something from him after helping Jericho win last week. And for this week's main event, Triple H, accompanied by the women's champion Stephanie McMahon, was set to take on the Intercontinental Champion Rikishi. This was a very fun match to watch, but in the end, Triple H was able to hit the pedigree and beat Rikishi. Now, Triple H got closer to a title shot after that win, but Jericho was here, and it was payback time after all those beatdowns from Triple H. Jericho finally got his chance to strike back. He wasn't just looking to get even, he was looking to get ahead and end the game. It was Thursday Night SmackDown, and the show kicked off with Bradshaw and Farouk facing off against the Dudley Boys. The winner of this match would earn a chance to compete for the Tag Team Championship after Fully Loaded, facing the winners between Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys. The match was quite close, but in the end, the Dudleys managed to secure the win. However, they didn't show sportsmanship to their opponents and instead kicked them out of the ring, adding fuel to the fire. Speaking of fuel to the fire, this week Kane got his revenge on Big Show, doing the same thing Big Show did to him in last week's episode. It was officially announced that the Big Red Machine Kane would take on the Big Show at Fully Loaded. In the third match, we were supposed to get Trish and Lita in a one-on-one match, but a brawl broke out. Everyone was throwing punches. Test and Albert brawled with the Hardy Boys in the ring, while Lita and Trish were on the stage ramp. Officials and referees tried to break up the fight, but nobody seemed to want to stop fighting. The Hardy Boys were scheduled to fight at Fully Loaded, so it wasn't very smart of them to engage in a fight against Test and Albert just days away from their championship match. The main event of this week's SmackDown was an inverse deja vu. Austin won his match, but as he celebrated, The Rock attacked him with the championship belt. And that was week 2. The pay-per-view started with a championship match for the tag team titles. The champions, Edge and Christian, defended their tag titles against the challengers, the Hardy Boys. It was an epic ladder match with bodies flying everywhere. With Jeff taking it to the extreme, the Hardys were able to climb the ladder and unhook the tag titles, becoming your new tag team champions. In the second match of the night, Eddie Guerrero defended his European Championship. Despite the grueling nature of the match, Eddie managed to hit his frog splash on the challenger and secured the win, retaining his European Championship. In the third match, Chris Jericho took on Triple H. This match had become really personal on the road to the event. Although Jericho put his heart into the match, the game was able to hit the pedigree and walked away with the win. In the fourth match, the American Badass, The Undertaker, took on the Olympic hero Kurt Angle. This rivalry started after Angle made the mistake of attacking the Dead Man. The match was pretty good, but in the end, The Undertaker was able to hit the last ride on Angle and walked away with the win while also teaching Angle a lesson. In the fifth match, we saw the Big Red Machine, Kane, take on the Big Show. The match was physical and brutal, with the Big Show even putting Kane through the announce table with the chokeslam. However, when the dust settled, Kane was able to hit the chokeslam on the Big Show in the middle of the ring and secured the victory. In the sixth match, we saw Lita accompanied by the new tag champs, the Hardy Boys, taking on Trish Stratus with Test and Albert. Lita was able to hit her moonsault on Trish, securing the victory and adding another win to the night. And finally, in the main event, Steve Austin was looking to take the WWE Championship from The Rock. After many tense moments, Austin hit the stunner on The Rock and pinned him in the middle of the ring, becoming the new WWE Champion.
I made the best universe mode, but it's 1999. In this time frame, there are a lot of different factions in the WWE. The Undertaker is the leader of a cult called the Ministry of Darkness. Vince McMahon, alongside his son Shane and The Rock, are part of a group called the Corporation. Triple H is the leader of Degeneration X, and mixed in all of this is the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. We are going to see all these factions collide. Let's start at the beginning.
Guys, I know many of you are familiar with the New Age Outlaws, and many of you probably know Bradshaw. However, you might not be familiar with Farouk and the fact that they had a group called APA, but during this time, they were in the Ministry of Darkness with The Undertaker. So I thought, what would be better than to put the Ministry of Darkness against DX? This is just regular TV back in 1999, a degenerate group against the leader of a sinister cult whose leader is dead. But this is wrestling, so it makes sense. The Undertaker grabbed Triple H by the neck and hit him with the choke slam. The war between these two factions was on. And over the next couple of weeks, DX and the Ministry of Darkness went at each other's throats. It was made official. The Undertaker was going to take on Triple H at SummerSlam. It was finally time for The Undertaker and Triple H to face each other one-on-one. There were many interruptions during the match. APA attacked Triple H and the New Age Outlaws took care of them. Then Viscera attacked Billy Gunn backstage and X-Pac was injured after a match against Kane. The Undertaker took advantage of the previous attacks done by the APA onto Triple H. He picked him up, tombstone pile-drivered him into the canvas and pinned him, winning the full-out war between the Ministry of Darkness and Degeneration X. Guys, we still haven't seen how all of these factions are going to collide together, how Edge and Christian, who are also members of the Ministry of Darkness, are going to get involved in all of this, and we still haven't seen the Hardy Boys. But before we get there, we need to make a stop here. Guys, I know many of you have probably seen this title in the game, but yes, there used to be a title back in the day called the European Championship, so one of the matches I made for SummerSlam was D'Lo Brown against the champion Shane McMahon. D'Lo won the match and became the new champion. This title was active from 1997 until 2002 when it was unified with the Intercontinental title. Another match I made for SummerSlam was this one. The Big Red Machine, Kane, has targeted Mankind as his latest victim. Mankind is the current WWE Hardcore Champion and is known for his tolerance for pain. Apparently, Kane wants to see if Mankind can really endure as much pain as he can. Kane has completely lost it. He is obviously hurting from the inside and cannot accept the fact that Mankind likes to feel pain. Kane does not believe that anybody can enjoy feeling pain, so he grabbed a steel chair and hit Mankind many times over. Kane is seeking for Mankind to admit that he doesn't like pain, that pain is not good. And just like that, SummerSlam arrived. It was time to find out who could take more pain between Kane and Mankind, and the bout was for the Hardcore title. These two tried everything they could to take down the other, and Kane was looking for Mankind to admit he does not enjoy pain. After a very close match, Mankind took the best from Kane, but that was not enough to beat him. In the end, Mankind proved he could take more pain from Kane, and he won the match, retaining the belt. Another match I made for SummerSlam was the Olympic hero Kurt Angle against The Big Show. By the way, guys, let me know in the comments if you are enjoying the Universe Mode series and which time frame or era you would like to see next. Kurt and Big Show were two of the biggest rising stars of this era. The Big Show had already found success in WCW, but decided to make the jump to the WWE. Although Angle was not part of any of these factions, he was an important player in 1999. The Big Show was dominating the match, and it looked like he was going to come out as the winner. The Big Show was moments away from putting Angle down for good, but Kurt was slick. He was not about to let Big Show disrespect him like that. He turned the tables, hit Big Show with the Olympic Slam, and finally got the W. Guys, this is finally the moment we all have been waiting for. One of the biggest rivalries of all time was Stone Cold against The Rock. Back in 1999, The Rock was aligned with Vince McMahon and was known as the corporate champion. He is feuding with WWE champion Stone Cold Steve Austin. Steve has taken on The Rock and the rest of the corporation. Austin has had enough. He even went after the Ministry of Darkness and helped the Hardy Boys secure a win against Edge and Christian, hitting Edge with the stunner, and Jeff putting Christian away after hitting the twist of fate. Stone Cold even stunned the Big Boss Man on the front ramp. He took out Big Show backstage, throwing him against the car and the wall, and even gave him a stunner. He has brawled with The Rock many times on the road to SummerSlam. So it was made official. Stone Cold Steve Austin was going to defend his WWF title, as it was called at the time, against The Rock in the main event of SummerSlam. Could the Rattlesnake retain his title after making so many enemies on the road to the event? It was finally the main event for the WWE Championship, with The Rock challenging Stone Cold Steve Austin for the title. The match started with a fast pace, with Austin taking Rock to the corner. We saw many back and forth moments as these two guys know each other very well. Both Austin and Rock were trying to hurt their opponent early in pursuit of getting the victory. In a moment of the match, the arena was filled with many factions. It was almost a battle royale. When the dust settled, Steve and Rock were still in the ring, each trying to put the other down. Steve was looking to hit the stunner, but Rock countered, throwing him against the ropes and hitting the spine buster. The Rock was about to hit the people's elbow, but Austin countered. Austin hit the stunner for the cover. There was no way The Rock could kick out from that stunner. 1, 2, what? The Big Show is back, and Vince is also here now. Big Show hit Austin with a choke slam, and McMahon hit Austin with a chair. Now The Rock is alone with Austin. The Rock hit the rock bottom, and for the cover, 1, 2, 3. The corporation just screwed Austin. And this is how WWE used to be back in 1999. Can Sting save WCW from the NWO and take the World Heavyweight Championship from Hollywood Hogan? Find out in this episode of Universe Mode 1997. Monday Nitro kicked off with a cruiserweight match between Rey Mysterio Jr. and the cruiserweight champion Eddie Guerrero. Both wrestlers were famous luchadors and played significant roles in keeping viewers tuned in during the Monday Night Wars. The match goes back and forth with both wrestlers trading blows and near falls. The crowd is on the edge of their seats cheering for both Mysterio and Guerrero. Neither of them is backing down. For Mysterio, a win over the Cruiserweight champion would imply that he is next in line for an opportunity at the Cruiserweight Championship. Currently, the first-ranked contender is none other than Psychosis. If Mysterio wins, he will earn a shot at the winner between Guerrero and Psychosis for the title. Unfortunately for Rey, Eddie won the match with a frog splash. After the match was over, the two men shook hands as a symbol of respect. The second match of the night was for the Tag Team Championships, with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash challenging Harlem Heat for their titles. The bell rang, and the two teams immediately went to war. Booker T and Stevie Ray were quick and agile, while Nash and Hall were big and powerful. The two teams matched each other blow for blow, and the crowd was on their feet. Booker T and Stevie Ray used their teamwork to their advantage, often double-teaming Nash and Hall. Nash and Hall, however, were able to use their size and strength to overpower Booker T and Stevie Ray. Hall executed a chokeslam on Stevie Ray in the center of the ring. Meanwhile, on the outside of the ring, Buff Bagwell went after Booker T to assist Nash and Hall in winning the championship belts. After a jackknife powerbomb from Kevin Nash, we had new WCW Tag Team Champions. In the third match of the night, we witnessed Diamond Dallas Page taking on the Giant Paul White. Diamond Dallas Page was struggling to bring down the Giant as Paul resisted every offensive move from Page. It appeared that the Giant was going to win this one, as he seemed to be too much for Diamond Dallas Page to handle. However, in a sudden turn of events, DDP was able to hit the Giant with his signature move, the Diamond Cutter, winning the biggest match of his career. It was the main event of Monday Nitro, where the Nature Boy Ric Flair was scheduled to face off against the World Heavyweight Champion Hollywood Hogan in a singles match. These are two men who don't need introductions. Both are icons in the wrestling business. However, Hogan has taken over the company that, quite frankly, was built by Ric Flair. So it's only natural that the Nature Boy and Hollywood Hogan were going to clash over this matter. Flair had Hogan in the match, delivering chops to the chest, but Hogan managed to counter Flair and shift the momentum in his favor. Now, Hogan was the one controlling the match, and Flair was finding it challenging to withstand the power of Hollywood Hogan. Now Hogan was feeling himself, even trash-talking both Flair and the fans. Back inside the squared circle, Hogan was setting up for the leg drop, but Flair wasn't going down without a fight. Flair countered Hogan's move, and out of nowhere, he locked in the figure four leg lock on Hogan, sending the crowd into a frenzy. Hogan had nowhere to run, and there was no rope break in sight. However, Syxx intervened, breaking the figure four and striking Flair. The crowd erupted in boos as Hogan seized Flair and nailed him with the leg drop. Now Scott Hall was also out here, joining in the assault on Flair. The three men were viciously assaulting the Nature Boy. But oh my God, Sting was here! Sting made his way to the ring and struck Syxx with a bat on the outside. Sting swung the bat and hit Scott Hall right in the gut, possibly breaking a couple of ribs with that powerful strike. This is it, boys. It's WCW versus the NWO, and Sting has issued the challenge. Week 2 kicked off with a match for the Cruiserweight title, pitting the challenger Psychosis against the champion Eddie Guerrero. And if you're thinking of changing the channel to watch the competition, do not bother, as those videos are 3 weeks old. At one point, Psychosis was down and Eddie was preparing for a frog splash, but Psychosis managed to move out of harm's way. Seizing the opportunity, Psychosis climbed the top rope and hit Eddie with a diving leg drop, securing the 3 count and winning the Cruiserweight title in front of a capacity crowd. In the second match of the night, Bill Goldberg was scheduled for a singles match with a winning streak of 129 wins and 0 losses. His opponent was Buff Bagwell. Bill hit Bagwell with a spear, and it nearly took off Bagwell's shoes, likely leaving him with a couple of broken ribs, and then followed up with the jackhammer, maintaining his streak and adding another victory, bringing the count to 130 wins. In the third match of the night, the new WCW Tag Team Champions Kevin Nash and Scott Hall faced off against the Steiner Brothers. Hall and Nash dominated the entire match with little to no offense from the Steiner Brothers. It was almost a total squash from the Tag Team Champions against Rick and Scott. We were in the final moments of the match, with Kevin Nash delivering more punishment to Rick Steiner. Finally, he set the table for Scott Hall. Scott and Kevin secured the victory after Hall executed the Razor's Edge on Rick, sealing the win. After the match was over, Harlem Heat came rushing down to the ring and began delivering a beatdown to the Tag Team Champions. Remember, Hall and Nash cheated to win their match last week, and the former tag champs were furious about losing their tag team titles. A rematch was set to take place at Starrcade. In the fourth match of the night, it was Diamond Dallas Page against Steven Regal in a singles match. Diamond won the match after hitting Regal with the cutter as DDP was celebrating, the music of the Giant echoed throughout the arena. Diamond was looking for him, but the Giant came from behind and attacked DDP. Then he grabbed Dallas Page and executed a resounding chokeslam, leaving Diamond Dallas Page unconscious in the middle of the ring. In the main event, the NWO entered the ring to address Sting and the upcoming match for the heavyweight title at Starrcade. Hogan, Nash, and Hall took the mic as the crowd's reaction was a mix of both cheers and boos for the NWO. Hogan declared that they were not afraid of Sting and that the NWO was running the wrestling world, brother. Then Hogan took a spray can and drew the NWO letters to close out Week 2. Week 3 kicked off with a singles match between Lionheart Chris Jericho and the WCW TV champion Ultimo Dragon. The crowd was electric as the two wrestlers entered the ring. Dragon was a fan favorite, known for his high-flying acrobatics and technical brilliance. Jericho, on the other hand, was a cocky heel who was determined to prove himself as the best wrestler in the world. Ultimo Dragon countered a move from Jericho and shifted the momentum of the match in his favor, executing all sorts of acrobatic moves and running circles around Lionheart. After hitting a power bomb on Jericho, Ultimo Dragon went for a moonsault, but Jericho got out of the way. Jericho then hit a bulldog on Ultimo Dragon and ultimately sent him outside the ring with a dropkick. Jericho attempted a high-flying move on Dragon, but this time it was Ultimo Dragon who evaded the attack. He executed a springboard moonsault that connected. Dragon then attempted a Dragon Rana from the top rope, but Jericho countered the move and followed up with a spinning wheel kick on Dragon. Jericho then executed a series of power bombs on Dragon. Having Ultimo Dragon right where he wanted him, Jericho applied the Walls of Jericho's submission hold. Dragon had nowhere to go, so he had no choice but to submit to the Walls of Jericho. With this victory, Jericho earned a title shot for the WCW TV Championship, but this wasn't enough for Jericho. After the match was over, he launched a series of attacks on a defenseless Ultimo Dragon, relentlessly kicking him over and over again. In the second match of the night, we witnessed Harlem Heat facing off against Buff Bagwell and Syxx. Harlem Heat emerged victorious in the match after Booker T hit Bagwell with his signature maneuver. As Booker and his brother Stevie celebrated in the ring, the Outsiders sought revenge for the attack from last week, striking the former champions with the tag team titles. In the third match of the night, we saw the Rabid Wolverine competing against the WCW United States champion, Curt Hennig. The former emerged victorious in the match after executing his signature move, earning an opportunity to challenge for the WCW United States Championship at Starrcade. In the fourth match of the night, we witnessed Goldberg coming into the match with a winning streak of 162 matches, facing off against Billy Kidman in a singles match. Goldberg secured the victory by hitting Kidman with the jackhammer, extending his winning streak to 163 matches. In the fifth match of the night, we witnessed a cruiserweight bout between La Parka and Rey Mysterio Jr. This match began at a high pace, with both superstars delivering an incredible show for the fans in attendance. Rey Mysterio Jr. and La Parka pulled out all the stops, trying to outdo each other. Trust me when I say we were not lacking in flashy moves during this match. La Parka was firmly in control of the match, hitting Mysterio with a variety of moves and combinations. La Parka attempted to hit a standing moonsault on Mysterio, but Mysterio managed to move out of the way. Now Mysterio was looking to take the action to the outside, setting up for a Hurricane Rana on La Parka. Now, Mysterio was attempting a move from the top rope, but this time it was La Parka who moved out of harm's way. La Parka capitalized by hitting Mysterio with a DDT, leaving Mysterio down and vulnerable. La Parka then executed his signature move to secure the victory, bringing him one step closer to the Cruiserweight title. Mysterio will need to find a way to regain momentum and rejoin the conversation for the title. And now it was time for the main event, with Macho Man Randy Savage set to face Lex Luger. After a hard-fought battle, Luger was on the verge of grabbing Macho Man with his signature maneuver. However, the NWO suddenly appeared and began attacking Luger. Then, Hogan grabbed Luger and executed his leg drop on him, brother. Both Hogan and Bischoff were in the ring when all of a sudden, Sting appeared in the ring. Hogan knew exactly who was behind him, and Sting wasted no time, hitting Hogan with a scorpion death drop. Now, with a bat in hand, Sting chased after a fleeing Bischoff, catching up to him and striking him in the head with the bat. Starrcade kicked off with a singles match for the WCW TV Championship as Ultimo Dragon defended his title against Lionheart Chris Jericho. Ultimo Dragon had Jericho trapped in his submission hold in the middle of the ring, but somehow, someway, Jericho managed to escape. Jericho was now looking to apply the Walls of Jericho, but Ultimo Dragon was not making it easy for Jericho. It felt like deja vu as Jericho locked Ultimo Dragon in the walls of Jericho, forcing the champion to submit once again. With this victory, Jericho became the new WCW TV champion. In the second match of the night, we witnessed Rey Mysterio Jr. facing off against Dean Malenko. Both of these superstars were aiming to re-enter the title picture. Mysterio managed to defeat Malenko after executing his signature move, securing the victory in the match. In the third match of the night, we saw Curt Hennig defending his WCW United States Championship against the Rabid Wolverine. The latter was able to defeat Curt Hennig after applying his signature maneuver, the crossface, to make Hennig submit. This victory meant that the Rabid Wolverine had won the WCW United States Championship. In the fourth match of the night, it was the Giant against Diamond Dallas Page. In a singles match, DDP emerged victorious by hitting Paul White with a diamond cutter from the middle rope. In the fifth match, we witnessed the former tag team champions Harlem Heat in a rematch for the belts against the Outsiders. Unfortunately for the brothers, the Outsiders claimed the win in the match with a decisive razor's edge from Scott Hall, targeting Stevie Ray. This victory solidified their status as the reigning tag team champions at Starrcade, showcasing their dominance in the tag team division. In the sixth match of the night, we witnessed Psychosis defending his cruiserweight title in a triple threat match against the former champion Eddie Guerrero and La Parka. As La Parka performed his signature move on Psychosis, Eddie Guerrero suddenly entered the scene with a frog splash on La Parka's back. Guerrero then capitalized by going for the pin on Psychosis, successfully regaining the cruiserweight title once again. It was time for the main event, where Hollywood Hogan was set to defend his World Heavyweight title against Sting. Sting started with the upper hand, giving the champ a run for his money. However, Hogan was not about to go down that easily. He regained control of the match, and now it was Sting feeling the wrath of Hogan's offense. However, Sting was able to counter a move from Hogan, and now he was gaining momentum in the match. Sting followed up by hitting Hogan with a Sting splash in the corner. Now Sting was seeking to apply the Scorpion Deathlock. Hogan found himself in the middle of the ring with nowhere to go. Sting locked in the hold, and Hogan was on the verge of submitting. Sting did it! We have a new World Heavyweight Champion! Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel. I made the best universe mode, but it's 1995. And it's WrestleMania season. In my opinion, WrestleMania 11 was pretty bad. So in this video, I'm going to attempt to make WrestleMania 11 great. But before that, we need to start with Week 1. Monday Night Raw started with a match where Bret the Hitman Hart was going to wrestle his brother Owen. Right away, they began wrestling as Owen ran into the ring to fight Bret. Before, Owen had tricked Bret during a big match against Bob Backlund by getting their mom to stop the match. Bret was upset about that. Now, Bret wanted to have this match to help Owen understand his mistake and try to bring their family back together as they were not getting along. Once the match really got going, the speed of these two amazing wrestlers was off the charts. They knew each other so well that they could stop or change every move their brother tried to make. Oh, I forgot to mention, the winner of this match would get a chance to compete for a big prize, the Intercontinental Championship, at WrestleMania 11. So there was a lot on the line. Surprisingly, Owen was winning most of the match, and he tried to take Bret up to the top rope, but Bret stopped him with a kick to the face. Then Bret grabbed Owen and did an electric chair, followed by a running crossbody. Now it was Bret's turn to go to the top rope, where he hit Owen with a butterfly suplex. Bret then grabbed Owen and attempted the sharpshooter submission move. He was aiming to finish the match early. Owen was in a lot of pain and had nowhere to escape, and finally, he submitted. This let Bret the Hitman win the match against his brother Owen. Even after the match ended, there was still tension in the arena. Owen walked up to his brother Bret, who extended his hand, hoping to make peace. At the beginning, it seemed impossible, but when Owen shook Bret's hand after the match, it helped them solve their personal issues. In the second match of the night, we saw Henry Godwinn competing in a singles match against the Intercontinental Champion, Razor Ramon. This match started right in the middle of the ring with these two big men throwing hefty punches from the beginning, with neither of them backing down. Razor caught Godwinn with a big clothesline as he rebounded off the ropes. Razor was looking to hit Godwinn with a move in the corner, but Godwinn countered and hit Ramon with a big running clothesline. Now Godwinn was looking to hurt Razor, but the latter countered the move and hit Henry with a full Nelson suplex. Razor was aiming for a chokeslam, but Godwinn countered and hit Razor Ramon with an elevated wrestling takedown. Now it was Godwinn's turn to try to finish the match, but Razor countered the move and landed a side slam on Godwinn. Razor then grabbed Godwinn and signaled the end with the Razor's Edge. Ramon hoisted Henry onto his shoulders and executed a perfect Razor's Edge right into the canvas, winning the match. Although, after the match was over, the new #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, Bret the Hitman Hart, went out to the ring to let the champion know that he is here and ready to take the belt from him. Razor simply hoisted the title and said, "Come and take it, Hitman." In the third match of the night, we saw Lex Luger facing off against Tatanka in a steel cage match. Luger started strong, hurling Tatanka against the cage, dominating the early part of the match. At one point, Luger aimed to strike Tatanka in the corner, but Tatanka countered the move. Switching momentum, Tatanka looked for an opportunity and landed a gutbuster on Luger. Now it was Tatanka's turn to throw Luger against the cage. Tatanka attempted a belly-to-belly, but Luger countered and sent Tatanka into the corner. There, Luger seized Tatanka and executed a variation of the military press drop. Then Luger applied the torture rack on Tatanka, but somehow, someway, Tatanka was able to escape. Tatanka then hit Luger with a Samoa drop. Tatanka tried to escape the steel cage, but Luger managed to take him down. Tatanka did not want to let go, but eventually, Luger was able to drop him onto the mat. Luger then applied the torture rack on Tatanka again. Tatanka had no choice but to tap out, and Luger won the match. Now it was time for the main event. Davey Boy Smith was set to go one-on-one against the winner of the 1995 Royal Rumble match, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. The 1995 Royal Rumble match ended in controversy after the British Bulldog thought he had eliminated Michaels from the match. However, Michaels held on to the ropes, then came back and eliminated the Bulldog as he was celebrating in the corner. The Heartbreak Kid was set to challenge his former friend and bodyguard, the World Wrestling Federation champion Big Daddy Cool Diesel at WrestleMania 11. Speaking of bodyguards, after Michaels won the match, he went and grabbed Sid as his new bodyguard. He thought that now, having won the Rumble match, everyone would be coming for him. After a thrilling main event match, Michaels was able to defeat Davey Boy Smith with a sweet chin music to win the match. Following the match, Diesel came out to have a word with Michaels. As Diesel reached out for a handshake, Michaels inadvertently kicked him below the belt, ending Week 1 by humiliating the champion. Week 2 kicked off with a singles match between the Intercontinental Champion Razor Ramon and Owen Hart. Razor Ramon had Owen beat, and to put the cherry on top, he was looking to finish things with a razor's edge. But then, something unexpected happened. Razor grabbed Owen again and hit him for the second time with the razor's edge, intentionally done to send a message to his brother. After the match was over, Bret Hart came rushing down to the ring and immediately began beating up Razor Ramon, with the referee trying to stop them from fighting. Then Bret got Razor out of the ring after hitting him with a clothesline, and after adding more punishment to Razor, Bret was left in the ring celebrating. In the second match of the night, following a heated backstage encounter between Lex Luger and the tag team champions, where Luger claimed he could beat them both at the same time, a handicap match was arranged. Unfortunately for Luger, it seemed he bit off more than he could chew as the tag champs Billy and Bart Gunn dominated the match and eventually took Luger down. After the match concluded, Bart and Billy sought to fetch a chair from under the ring to further assault Luger, but that's when the British Bulldog raced down to the ring to save Luger, sending the tag team champions retreating. And with this, it seemed like Lex Luger had found a partner in Davey Boy Smith to seek revenge on Bart and Billy and possibly even take the tag team titles from them. And now let's all take a moment to enjoy the beautiful Sunny as she makes her way down to the ring. All right, enough of that. In the third match of the night, we saw the big man Mabel going one-on-one against the dead man, The Undertaker. The Undertaker and Mabel met right in the middle, and Taker was having trouble trying to move the big man around. Somehow, Taker found a way to get a hold of Mabel and send him across the ropes. But as he was bouncing off the ropes, he was able to bulldog Taker as they met in the middle. Now it was Mabel throwing Undertaker around, using his big size to dominate the match. Taker was able to counter a move from Mabel, but the latter was able to do the same to the dead man. Now Mabel was looking for a military press drop, but Taker countered the move and hit Mabel with a huge running boot. And Undertaker hit Mabel with another running boot, but this time Mabel fell down. Then Taker grabbed Mabel and hit him with a huge chokeslam. After the match was over, King Kong Bundy tried to hit Taker from behind, but missed with the clothesline. The Undertaker was left alone in the ring to celebrate not only his win, but also overcoming this premeditated attempt by Bundy. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, was heading to the ring to face Doink the Clown when the World Wrestling Federation champion, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, ambushed him from behind as payback for what Michaels had done to him earlier. Referees and security personnel were trying to stop Diesel from attacking Michaels. Then, Diesel and Sid also began to brawl, and the crowd went wild for Diesel as he battled everyone in the arena. The security and referees were doing their best to control the situation, but the champion and former bodyguard were going head-to-head with the new bodyguard. And with only 2 weeks left before WrestleMania 11, the question remains, will we be able to make it better? Week 3 kicked off with a singles match between the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, Bret the Hitman Hart, against the 1-2-3 Kid, who is aligned with the champion, Razor Ramon. Bret missed with a move in the corner, and now the 1-2-3 Kid was looking for a back suplex. However, Bret landed on his feet and hit Kid with an electric chair, followed by a series of stomps in the corner right to the chest. Bret put the cherry on top in the match by applying the sharpshooter submission hold, making the 1-2-3 Kid tap out. After the match was over, Bret was celebrating when Razor Ramon came from behind and hit Bret the Hitman Hart right in the face with the IC belt. Now, we are just days away from their match at WrestleMania 11. In the next segment, Lex Luger and the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, laid down the challenge to the tag team champions for a match at WrestleMania. However, the champions ambushed them from behind and assaulted the challengers, beating them to a pulp. They didn't back down, though, and accepted the challenge. The match was set for WrestleMania. In the main event, we were set to see Bam Bam Bigelow face off against the World Wrestling Federation champion, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, in a one-on-one match. Bigelow started off dominating the match, but Big Daddy Cool Diesel was able to turn things around. Diesel had Bigelow in the corner, but Bigelow managed to counter a move from Diesel and shift the momentum back to himself in the match. Then Bigelow hoisted Diesel onto his shoulder and hit him with a Samoan drop. He then attempted a military press drop, but Diesel countered the move. Diesel tried to hit Bam Bam Bigelow with a double choke slam, but Bigelow countered too. Bigelow then aimed for a back suplex on Diesel, but Diesel countered this move as well. When Diesel went for a clothesline, Bigelow countered again. Then, out of nowhere, Lawrence Taylor came out and distracted Bam Bam Bigelow. The two were scheduled for a match at WrestleMania. Diesel took advantage of the distraction and grabbed Bigelow, hitting him with the jackknife powerbomb to win the match. However, while Diesel was celebrating, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels rushed in from behind and attacked Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Then Michaels grabbed the World Wrestling Federation title and sized up Big Daddy Cool Diesel, seemingly with bad intentions to hurt Diesel. And finally, he did it, striking the World Wrestling Federation champion right in the face with his own title. Yet the question remains, can we make WrestleMania 11 better? Well, we were about to find out. The first match at WrestleMania 11 featured Bob Backlund versus Jeff Jarrett in a singles match. The match had many back-and-forth moments, with Bob Backlund taking control initially. However, Jeff Jarrett retaliated and hit Bob Backlund with a running neckbreaker. This is where things took a turn for the worse for Double J. He attempted a move in the corner, but Backlund dodged, and out of nowhere, Backlund seized Jeff Jarrett with his signature submission hold maneuver. Jarrett had no choice but to tap out, granting Bob Backlund the first win at WrestleMania 11. In the second match of the night, we saw Lawrence Taylor taking on Bam Bam Bigelow. Taylor won after delivering a shoulder block from the middle rope onto Bam Bam Bigelow, securing the second victory of the night. By the way, this was the main event at WrestleMania 11 in real life. The third match of the night featured a tag team match for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championships, where the champions Billy and Bart Gunn defended their titles against the Allied Powers, Lex Luger and Davey Boy Smith. The Allied Powers were able to secure the titles after Luger submitted Billy Gunn with the torture rack submission hold, winning the coveted tag team championships. In the fourth match of the night, King Kong Bundy was set to go one-on-one against the Dead Man, The Undertaker, in a singles match. Both superstars started the match in the middle of the ring with many back-and-forth exchanges, but Taker was able to take control of the match. However, when The Undertaker was looking to corner Bundy for an attack, Bundy countered and quickly charged at The Undertaker like a bull. Then The Undertaker was able to return the favor to Bundy after executing a move from the top rope, following it up with an arm drag takedown and a leg drop right to the leg. The Undertaker was aiming for a running clothesline on Bundy, who was stunned in the corner, but Bundy countered with an elbow to the face. Then when Bundy was setting up for a military press drop, The Undertaker countered the move. Seizing the moment, The Undertaker grabbed King Kong Bundy's arm and planned to go old school on Bundy. Unable to move, Bundy could only watch as The Undertaker took him right to school. The Undertaker finished the match by executing a tombstone pile driver on King Kong Bundy, securing a victory. What many people probably did not realize at the time was that The Undertaker was quietly building a streak of wins at WrestleMania. The fifth match of the night was for the World Wrestling Federation Intercontinental Championship, where the IC champion Razor Ramon was set to defend his title against Bret the Hitman Hart in a singles match. The bad guy, Razor Ramon, had made things personal after a merciless attack on Owen Hart, so now Bret had even more reasons to beat Ramon. The match started at a quick pace with Bret dictating the rhythm. However, the bad guy was able to counter a move from Bret and took over control of the match. Razor was hitting Bret with shots to the upper back. However, the tide turned when Razor rushed towards a stunned Bret Hart near the ropes, but Bret instinctively moved out of the way, sending Razor tumbling to the floor outside the ring. Bret was whooping Razor on the outside, but Ramon countered a move and hit Bret with a big blow to the face, retaking control of the match. Now back inside the ring, Razor continued to punish Hart, hitting him over and over again with a series of stomps in the corner. Razor then attempted a double-handed chokeslam, but Bret Hart countered. Bret hit Razor with an electric chair, followed by a huge clothesline that sent Ramon straight into the corner. Bret then attempted a piledriver on Razor, but Ramon countered the move, sending Bret to the floor. Ramon then grabbed Bret and delivered a tremendous chokeslam. The champ looked to finish the match with a Razor's edge, but Bret Hart countered and aimed to apply the sharpshooter submission hold on Razor, and he succeeded. Ramon was desperate to reach the ropes, but they were right in the middle of the ring. That's when the 1-2-3 Kid interfered in the match. Bret noticed him, let go of the sharpshooter, and landed a big punch right in Kid's mouth. However, the Intercontinental Champion took advantage of the distraction, hooked Bret in the Razor's edge, and executed it perfectly, almost driving Bret through the ring to win the match and retain his Intercontinental Championship. Apparently, it's true that good guys finish last and bad guys win. It was finally time for the main event, where the winner of the 1995 Royal Rumble match, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, was challenging the World Wrestling Federation champion, Big Daddy Cool Diesel. The match was set for one fall, with victory attainable only by pinfall or submission. The bout began with a series of back and forths, with Michaels initially taking control. However, Big Daddy Cool Diesel countered a move from Michaels, gaining control of the match. Diesel cornered Michaels, delivering a series of knees to the gut. Aiming to inflict further damage, Diesel attempted to land a boot to Shawn Michaels' face, but Michaels countered, leaping over Diesel and unleashing a series of punches right to the face of the champion. Then Michaels attempted a move against Big Daddy Cool, but Diesel moved out of the way. As Diesel chased Michaels outside the ring, the Heartbreak Kid pulled Diesel by the leg, causing him to fall. Back inside the ring, the Heartbreak Kid hit Diesel with his famous elbow drop from the top rope and began charging up, looking to put Diesel away with a sweet chin music. However, as Michaels was about to deliver it, Diesel countered the move. Diesel quickly grabbed Michaels and executed the jackknife on Michaels to win the match and retain the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Guys, if you want to support the channel, please share this video with your friends. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, click on the video on the screen where I created a WCW Universe mode set in 1997.
We're going to play Universe Mode in WWE 2K23, but we'll use the best SmackDown roster in WWE history. I've already set the correct championships, and I've chosen the champions that I remember watching as a kid. Many of you guys are probably familiar with most of these superstars, but I guarantee that a lot of you guys may not know many of the superstars who are going to be featured throughout the video. To start things off, there used to be a cruiserweight division on SmackDown back in the day. I decided to give the cruiserweight title to Rey Mysterio and put him in a match against Ultimo Dragon. The cruiserweight division was a lot of fun. They would have crazy matches and do all sorts of crazy flips. Even though they were not taken very seriously, I always looked forward to seeing their matches. To end the match, Rey Mysterio countered a counter from Ultimo Dragon, turning what could have been a powerbomb into the 619. He finished the match with a springboard Hurricane Rana to secure the win. I bet nobody watching SmackDown at that time thought that Mysterio was going to go on to become a future two-time world champion. Next up, we have the big match between the #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship, The Big Show, and Rhino. But hold on tight, because Big Show is currently locked in a heated rivalry with the reigning champion Brock Lesnar. I decided to put them in a tag team match against the tag team champions. Guess what? They actually won the match. However, in a shocking turn of events, Lesnar delivered his devastating F5 finisher to Big Show right after the match. It was a ruthless reminder of what's in store for their upcoming title clash. But wait, there's more. The story doesn't end there. Enraged by Lesnar's attack, Big Show sought vengeance and launched a brutal assault on Lesnar following one of his matches. Now, the Big Show is keeping a close eye on his back, fully aware that Lesnar will stop at nothing to seek his revenge. The Big Show emerged victorious in his match against Rhino, delivering a thunderous chokeslam to secure the win. However, his celebration was short-lived as he fell victim to a vicious ambush by Lesnar. Without warning, Lesnar unleashed a brutal assault, striking the Big Show with the championship belt. The unexpected attack left the Big Show reeling and raised the stakes even higher in their intense rivalry. Speaking of rivalries, I made the bold decision to ignite a feud between The Undertaker and the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. And what better way to intensify their rivalry than by placing them in the unforgiving confines of a steel cage match? Inside the towering steel structure, The Undertaker and Mark Henry would engage in a battle that would test their limits. The steel cage would serve as both a prison and a battleground, adding an extra layer of danger and excitement to their clash. With the animosity between these two fierce competitors reaching its boiling point, the steel cage match would provide the perfect platform for them to settle their differences once and for all. The Undertaker delivered a bone-chilling chokeslam, bringing down Mark Henry with a thunderous impact. In the epic clash inside the steel cage, the dead man, The Undertaker, emerged as the ultimate victor. As the crowd erupted in awe, The Undertaker solidified his dominance and added another legendary victory to his illustrious career. The solemn toll of the bell resonated throughout the arena, signifying the end of this grueling battle. All right, so that was week 1. In week 2, we kicked off the show with the tag team champions facing off against A-Train and Matt Morgan. The tag champs emerged victorious, picking up the win. The second match of the night featured the Doctor of Thugonomics John Cena taking on the Cruiserweight champion Rey Mysterio. During this time, Cena was playing the role of a heel, or a villainous character. To kick off the match, Cena wasted no time and pushed Mysterio into the referee, causing chaos right from the start. Now, for some of you, picturing John Cena as a bad guy might be a foreign concept. We're used to seeing him as the hero, the face of the company, but during this era, Cena embraced the dark side and played the role of a cunning antagonist. And for those of you who are more familiar with recent wrestling events, you might only know John Cena as that old dude who lost to Austin Theory at WrestleMania, but trust me, Cena's legacy extends far beyond that one match. In the end, Cena beat Mysterio, gaining momentum to climb the rankings. The next match is between the Olympic hero Kurt Angle and the Big Show. The match kicked off with a flurry of action as Kurt Angle faced off against the imposing Big Show. Despite Big Show's dominance, Angle managed to gain the upper hand utilizing his technical skills to apply a submission hold. However, with his upcoming clash against Brock Lesnar on the horizon, Big Show didn't want to risk injury. Taking advantage of a distraction caused by Lesnar, Big Show tapped out quickly, ensuring he didn't get hurt before his important match. In a calculated move, Big Show protected himself and preserved his chances against Lesnar. It was a strategic decision that showcased his focus on the bigger picture and the pursuit of championship glory.
Imagine a world where CM Punk never walked away from WWE, Eddie Guerrero never passed away, and Sting joined WWE in 2005. How would the history of wrestling change? In this video, we will use WWE 2K23 to simulate these scenarios and see what could have been. Our story begins with a heated feud between CM Punk and Triple H. In a shocking turn of events on SmackDown, Triple H launched a brutal assault on CM Punk. The cerebral assassin stomped on Punk mercilessly, leaving him battered and bloodied. The WWE Universe held its collective breath as they realized the game was far from finished with his brutal assault on CM Punk, who lay battered in the center of the ring. As Punk's body absorbed each punishing blow, it was clear that he was already severely battered from the earlier assault. Witnessing a level of brutality rarely seen even in the world of professional wrestling, the feud between CM Punk and Triple H had escalated to a new frightening dimension. The next Monday night on Raw, tensions exploded as Punk and Triple H engaged in an ugly brawl. Officials and referees had to rush in to separate the two bitter rivals, both consumed by their deep animosity. So, on that Friday when Triple H threw down the WrestleMania 30 challenge, Punk showed up with a kendo stick and just went for it. He unleashed a wild attack on Triple H just days before WrestleMania 30. WrestleMania 30 had arrived, and the highly anticipated showdown between CM Punk and Triple H was finally upon us. These two were no strangers to the ring, and despite their bitter history, they delivered an incredible match. Despite the bad blood between them, their chemistry in the ring was undeniable. The crowd was completely immersed in the action, unsure of who would emerge victorious. The match was a roller coaster of close falls and intense moments. In a sudden moment, CM Punk took control back of the match, and now it was Triple H who was in trouble. Punk hit the game with a running high knee in the corner, followed by a bulldog. CM Punk had Triple H caught in a tight anaconda vice. The struggle was real, with Triple H fighting to reach those ropes. After a hard-fought battle, Triple H managed to break free, delivering a bone-crushing spinebuster to Punk. The crowd was on the edge of their seats, feeling the intensity in the air. It seemed like Triple H had the upper hand, ready to close the deal with his signature pedigree. But here's the twist. CM Punk, the crafty veteran he is, pulled off a slick counter move. Out of nowhere, he nailed Triple H with his famous GTS finisher. The arena exploded with cheers as Punk covered Triple H for the win. The next night on Raw, CM Punk teamed up with the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan to take on Batista and Randy Orton in the main event. Daniel Bryan managed to make Batista submit, while CM Punk nailed Randy Orton with his devastating GTS finisher. However, in a shocking turn of events, CM Punk extended his hand for a handshake to Daniel Bryan. Just when Bryan was about to reciprocate, Punk blindsided him with a low blow below the belt, leaving the WWE Universe in utter disbelief. On SmackDown, CM Punk unleashed a brutal assault on Daniel Bryan, catching him completely off guard. It all began when Punk sneakily struck Bryan from behind as he was making his way to the ring. Once inside the squared circle, Punk didn't hold back. He sought out a steel chair from underneath the ring and mercilessly targeted Bryan's leg with a series of chair shots. The WWE Universe watched in shock as the relentless attack unfolded, leaving Bryan in a world of pain and further intensifying their heated rivalry. At Extreme Rules, the WWE Universe witnessed an epic showdown between CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in a no-holds-barred match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. The match was an all-out war, with both superstars leaving it all in the ring. The brutality of the match was off the charts, and the crowd was on the edge of their seats. In the end, though, it was Daniel Bryan who managed to retain both championship belts. Despite the punishment they dished out to each other, Bryan showed his resilience and determination, emerging victorious in this unforgettable clash at Extreme Rules. In November 2005, Eddie Guerrero passed away due to heart failure, shocking the wrestling world and leaving a huge void in WWE. But what if he never died? Let's find out. Our second story kicks off with a bang in a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship. It's Eddie Guerrero facing off against the reigning champion Batista and the legend killer Randy Orton. In a jaw-dropping twist of fate, Eddie Guerrero pulls off the unthinkable by triumphing over both formidable opponents. He levels the playing field by introducing a steel chair into the equation, using it to turn the tide in his favor. Finally, with the crowd at fever pitch, Eddie Guerrero seals the deal by soaring through the air with a frog splash, pinning Batista for the victory, and claiming the World Heavyweight title for the very first time. And now imagine a resurrected ECW with Eddie Guerrero at the forefront, ready to elevate the company to new heights. ECW had always been known for its raw essence and unfiltered wrestling action, and Eddie was the perfect fit to keep that spirit alive. One dream matchup that had fans salivating was Eddie Guerrero renewing his legendary rivalry with his former friend in the ECW ring. These two technical wizards could have taken the fans on a wrestling journey for the ages, showcasing their incredible skills and leaving the audience in awe. But it doesn't stop there. The ECW roster would have been stacked with talent like Rob Van Dam, Kurt Angle, and other ECW originals, creating an environment where every match was a potential classic. Eddie Guerrero's presence alone would have added immense prestige to the ECW World Championship and brought fans back to the gritty, intense wrestling action they loved. It's a what-if scenario that could have taken ECW to even greater heights in the wrestling world. Eddie Guerrero had that rare ability to inspire those around him. His dedication to the craft of wrestling and his passion for making fans have an unforgettable time in the squared circle were unparalleled. And let's not forget about the dream matches that could have unfolded in ECW. One such dream match was Eddie Guerrero going head-to-head with CM Punk. These two met before, where Eddie told Punk that they would meet again in the major leagues. ECW could have been the perfect stage for this long-awaited rematch. Eddie Guerrero, always the mentor and willing to put over young talent, could have elevated CM Punk by letting him secure a victory. Eddie's willingness to pass the torch and make new stars shine was one of his many strengths. A match like this could have been the cornerstone of ECW's resurgence, giving fans a taste of the incredible wrestling action they craved. It's a match that we can only imagine, but one that would have undoubtedly been remembered for years to come. Before we dive into our final what-if scenario, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. In 2005, Sting was one of the biggest stars of TNA, a rival promotion of WWE. He had never signed with WWE despite being offered several times. But what if he signed with WWE in 2005? Let's find out. In 2005, Sting would have signed with WWE on the SmackDown brand. He would have faced wrestlers like Mark Henry, who, if my memory serves me correctly, he had never faced before. Sting would have been a perfect fit for the blue brand during those years, and alongside The Undertaker, he could have become the face of the brand. Sting could have potentially faced off against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 21, but this could have only happened if he had made his WWE debut at the Royal Rumble in 2005. Imagining this scenario, Sting and The Undertaker, two of the most iconic figures in wrestling history, would have finally collided in a match that fans had eagerly awaited for years. Sting and The Undertaker, in a unique twist, could have joined forces to take on the formidable team of Big Show and Kane. But here's the intriguing part. Their program wouldn't follow the typical wrestling storyline of a hero versus a villain. Instead, it would be a clash between two enigmatic icons, each representing the cornerstone of their respective wrestling companies. The match between Sting and The Undertaker would have undoubtedly become an instant classic. Fans would have been on the edge of their seats pondering the question, could Sting be the one to break The Undertaker's WrestleMania streak? The showdown would have been monumental, drawing parallels to the iconic clash between The Rock and Hollywood Hogan. It's the kind of match that transcends time, a battle that wrestling fans would talk about for generations to come. In the end, The Undertaker summoned his last reserves of strength and managed to grab Sting. With a monumental effort, he hoisted Sting up and delivered the devastating Tombstone Piledriver, securing the victory and keeping his iconic WrestleMania streak alive. It was a moment of triumph for The Undertaker and a heartbreaker for Sting and his fans. I put 20 luchadors in the biggest Lucha Libre Rumble match ever, and the winner is going to be crowned as the best luchador. Let's get ready to rumble. Rey Mysterio and Ultimo Dragon were the first two entrants of the Lucha Libre Rumble match. Rey Mysterio started the Rumble dominating his opponent, and he quickly eliminated Dragon with no hesitation whatsoever. The third entrant in the Lucha Libre Rumble was El Hijo del Fantasma, as you might know him now as Santos Escobar. El Hijo del Fantasma shocked the world when he eliminated Rey Mysterio in the blink of an eye. The fourth entrant in this Rumble was NXT's own Dragon Lee, and he was coming straight for El Hijo del Fantasma. But El Hijo del Fantasma was ready, and he quickly shifted gears, starting to give a whooping to Dragon Lee. The fifth entrant in this Rumble was La Parka, and he didn't have a chance to get into the ring because immediately as he walked in, Dragon Lee rushed him with a fast combination of moves. The number 6th entrant in the Lucha Libre Rumble match was Tiger Mask, right from Japan. Tiger Mask got in the ring, but everybody had their own thing going. Unfortunately for Tiger Mask, La Parka was not in the mood for waiting, and he quickly eliminated Tiger Mask from the Rumble match. And just a couple of seconds later, El Hijo del Fantasma and La Parka worked together to eliminate Dragon Lee. Entrant number 7 was Jushin Thunder Liger, also coming from Japan to the Lucha Libre Royal Rumble match. Now we had 3 luchadors in the ring, and they were putting on a great show with multiple acrobatic moves. Entrant number 8 was the international sensation Sin Cara. He was coming to join El Hijo del Fantasma, Jushin Thunder Liger, and La Parka. But La Parka again with the quick elimination of Sin Cara, just like he did to Tiger Mask. The 9th entrant to the Lucha Libre Rumble is Prince Puma, currently known as Ricochet. While he is making his entrance, La Parka was eliminated from the match. The 10th entrant to the Lucha Libre Royal Rumble match was Kalisto, and with Kalisto we were now halfway to the end of this Lucha Libre Rumble match. The 11th entrant was Gran Metalik, who was set to join Prince Puma, Jushin Thunder Liger, and El Hijo del Fantasma, who was still in the match. The 12th entrant in the match was Lince Dorado, and now every member of the Lucha House Party had made their presence known in the Lucha Libre Rumble match. Dorado went straight for Thunder Liger. We now had 5 luchadors in the Lucha Libre Rumble match. And with Dorado and Metalik, it was a Lucha Libre party in the ring. Metalik, out of nowhere, eliminated Jushin Thunder Liger with an explosive clothesline. And Lince Dorado eliminated El Hijo del Fantasma. Lucha House Party was cleaning the ring. Guys, if you're enjoying this Lucha Libre Rumble match, subscribe to the channel and like this video. The 13th entrant to the Lucha Rumble was La Sombra, currently known as Andrade or El Idolo. Prince Puma eliminated Gran Metalik with a tremendous super kick. With this elimination, it looked like the party was being shut down for the Lucha House Party members. The 14th entrant to the Lucha Libre Rumble match was Juventud Guerrera, joining La Sombra, Prince Puma, and Lince Dorado in the match. And the party is over with a super kick from La Sombra taking out Lince Dorado from the match. The 15th entrant to the Lucha Libre Rumble match was Dr. Wagner Jr., and now the complexion of the match has changed with this big luchador in the match. I wonder if he is going to be able to be eliminated. He sent Prince Puma against the rope and received him with a kick to the guts. And he followed this up with a double kick to the side of the head. And now Juventud Guerrera has eliminated La Sombra out of the Lucha Libre Rumble match. We are just 5 away from the 20 luchador mark. The 16th entrant to the Lucha Libre Rumble match was Místico, which means that Hunico was the one earlier fighting as Sin Cara, and Místico went right after Juventud Guerrera. Number 17 was Psychosis, and it appears that Dr. Wagner is in trouble. We are just moments away from seeing who the greatest luchador is. Psychosis went right after Místico, and now we had 5 luchador inside the ring, with 3 others still waiting to join the match. The 18th entrant to the biggest Lucha Libre Rumble match was Commander. And right as he was still making his way to the ring, Místico was eliminated by Prince Puma. I was hoping to see more luchadors fighting in the ring at once. And in a shocking turn of event, Prince Puma eliminated Dr. Wagner Jr. from the match, and out of nowhere, Commander eliminated Prince Puma with a super kick. This is crazy. But hey, I told you this was the biggest Lucha Libre Rumble match in history. And as all of those things were happening, Rey Fénix started to make his entrance to the match as the 19th entrant in the Rumble, joining Commander, Juventud Guerrera, and Psychosis in the ring. Now, Juventud Guerrera grabbed Psychosis and without hesitation whatsoever planted a super kick right in his mouth, sending him out of the ring. And taking a page from the book of Juventud Guerrera, Rey Fénix did the same thing to Commander. We were left with only 2 luchadors in the ring, and we were still waiting for the last luchador to join the match. The last luchador to join the biggest Lucha Libre Rumble match in history was Pentagon Jr. or Penta El Zero Miedo. Now Pentagon Jr. had joined his younger brother Fénix in the match. Now Fénix was looking to eliminate Juventud Guerrera. He threw him over the top rope, and with zero mercy, Fénix hit him with an elbow right in the side of the head. Now we were left with the 2 brothers in the ring. Finally, the 2 brothers went to war, but in the end, Rey Fénix muster up and super kick his brother out of the match, winning the biggest Lucha Libre Rumble match in history and gaining the title of the greatest luchador. If you enjoyed this video, I recommend you to watch this one where I made the best universe mode, but it's WCW 1997. Check it out.